Hey guys, Ashley Gravano here with Mortgage Cadence. Today I am here with my good friend and super great human, Kim Hoffman of Envoy Mortgage. Hey Kim,
Hey, Ashley.
thanks for joining.
I'm so glad you invited me.
Well, as you see, I've been doing these a bit the last few weeks, trying to keep everyone connected. It's a challenging time, and you and I have been talking pretty much weekly about everything that all of us are going through. So I thought nothing better than having you on and talk a little bit about Envoy and your history in the mortgage space, and that's it.
That's awesome. Thank you.
All right, so we'll start off with the questions, the easy
Okay.
questions, which I'm sure you could answer with your eyes closed. So,
We'll try.
yeah, exactly. So, what made you get into the mortgage space? Because not many people, in high school say, you know what, I want to get into the mortgage space.
Yeah, well, I was one of those who did not say that. But I was fortunate when I graduated from college to enter a credit training program with the division of Chrysler Corporation. And in that training program, you go through different modules, business lending or commercial lending, consumer lending, and so forth. And when I was in my track, I was a party on a transaction that helped the consumer extract their equity out of their home to pay off their business partners who were trying to take over their business. And you know what? It was at that point where I really understood the power of home ownership, wealth creation in the equity we establish in the properties, and the ability to use that. And I was hooked. And the irony of that transaction is that that business 30 years later is still prospering in the state of Florida. Um,
That's
and that's
awesome.
how I got into it. I was hooked and I've been in it ever since.
Yeah, I certainly fell into it. My PHH days, which is where you and I met. I mean,
Yeah.
we met over 6 years ago, and reconnected over the last couple years with some of the organizations we're part of. So, um, I fell into it and got hooked too. So I agree with you on that. So you're at Envoy Mortgage now. So give me a little bit about why you love Envoy and what's great with Envoy.
Yeah, my story and how I got to Envoy is, man, that's to me is so interesting because my whole career just about I had known about Envoy. Envoy has been in the business, was founded 23 years ago in my hometown of Houston, Texas. And my career kind of took me all over the country, Royal Bank of Canada, Morgan Stanley, Sutherland Mortgage Services, and so forth. And then, I get that phone call from the founders who I had really known through the industry basically my whole career, and made an introduction to me to our CEO, Ron Millard, and, here I am. And it is almost surreal to be, the COO for a company that I have had such admiration for my entire career and doing it in my hometown. And, when you say, what do I love about it? You know what? I love the people. I love our mission. I love how nimble we are, how entrepreneurial we are. Um, we really seek to be the lender of choice for retail loan originators. And so all of our efforts are very focused on that. And I think we deliver as a whole organization against that mission every day. And it feels like such a family versus, a work environment.
Yeah, so it feels like home. So like you said, it's kind of.
Absolutely, in many ways.
Yeah, that's great. That is really great. So, with this COVID situation, I mean, besides the fact that we already were in, record volume and, recession at the same time as a pandemic, how has the borrower experience changed, for the better, I'm sure, with you guys, since you've had to make such a quick adjustment with little notice?
Well, you know what, the irony of timing, it couldn't have been better suited for us. I mean, obviously nobody would ever have
Mhm.
imagined what we're going through today, but we were in a course of delivering three key deliverables to our organization that we called the triple threat. It was a new point of sale engine. It
Okay.
was integrating D1C into that, and hybrid e-close. And the irony of the combination of all three of those really gave, at the beginning of this pandemic, an opportunity to create an experience for the consumer where they could self-serve to the degree that they wanted to and stay safe, not having to travel into an office. Keep our personnel safe by allowing the consumers to self-serve. Using D1C to confirm employment and having, less burden for the consumer. And then, the hybrid e-close has just been a game changer for everybody was able to participate in that,
Mhm.
in taking a 2-hour consummation of mortgage or the closing
Mhm.
ceremony and distilling that down into, 5 or 6 pages and 10 minutes, perhaps on the hood of a car in the
Yeah.
settlement office,
Right.
parking lot. That has been a game changer for
Yeah.
us. And so, while it looked like the timing was all, was set up very well, we had a perfect opportunity to deliver this and fast track it to have an impact when I think our consumers, our referral sources, and employees needed it the fastest. And we did it, and we did it in a pure Envoy style.
Yeah. That's great. I love that triple threat. Coming from the title space prior to joining Cadence, I remember the days of having to arrange, going to 3 locations sometimes, or, when we've worked together in the past, we've had to send the notary to, 3 offices in New York. And so having the remote online notarization really has changed. And I hope that it sticks around, because I think the consumers, many of them still like the traditional table, but the consumers really that don't have the time or other reasons, I think they really will benefit from it.
Well, I think that for the whole industry, and clearly we're not the only ones doing this, right? But for the whole industry to be able to keep our industry flowing during record volumes at a time when everybody's trying to shelter in place
Hmm.
and keep all of the constituents in the transaction safe at the same time, I don't know of another industry who could have pulled this off. It's not just about Envoy. Our entire industry pivoted
Yeah.
so many people to work from home, and we did it with record volumes, happening, and we did it without missing a beat. And so, when you talk about, being a mortgage banker, there's a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and again, like with the flip of a switch, right? I mean, you had to do it overnight. So that's amazing that you guys have been able to do that. So I always like to talk about mentors because I have such great mentors, and you and I have talked about this in the past. I mean, I can, not count on one hand. I have too many mentors maybe, but who would you say is, one of your, favorite mentors?
Well, it's impossible to name just one. And
Yeah,
so,
that's me too. So,
you know what I would say is that, early in my career, I had the benefit of Sharon Moore and Vicki Thompson, who saw something in me that I sure didn't see in me. And I will forever be thankful for them and the groundwork that they helped lay for me in my career. And then Tony Santelli, Laura Lacosa, Shelley O'Connor, Dave Canigan, Morgan Whitaker, whom you know.
yeah,
Um,
you're like me.
so
I'm
they're
like
just,
I'm like 1, 2, 3. I think
yeah.
it's 9 maybe.
Um, Whenever when leaders are willing to invest in you in time, that's, to me, time is a person's greatest asset.
Mhm.
And so when people are willing to do that and shape you because of those interactions, that's incredible. And those are true leaders. And I'm just incredibly fortunate and grateful to all of them. Um, but I believe everybody we come in contact with has an ability to change the way that we think about something, or to have an impact on us. And then I would tell you this: what we do with that is incredibly important. You can't
Mhm.
just take that and now it's mine and I own it. You've got to take it and you've got to spread that to others, because
Yeah.
now it's your responsibility to share those learnings, those teachings, and that just the awesomeness that comes from these great people with others. And I love doing that.
That's a good segue to the next question. So, if you have any, the younger generation looking to get into mortgage, or anyone that's looking to pivot or make a change, what advice do you have for them? With one, I would always say, you have to have thick skin, right, and be able to take the punches. But what advice would you have for someone interested in getting into the industry?
Well, for me, I don't think there's anything like the mortgage business, Ashley. I mean, in this business, everyone has an equal opportunity to exceed their wildest expectations for their dreams and goals. And while they're doing that, they're also creating dreams and, wealth for families. And so, to me, it's the greatest industry that there is. And you know, like anything else, what you put into it is what you get out of it. And so I would say to everybody that, you know, being a life learner, the mortgage business is no different. Change is happening in our business all the time.
Yeah.
So you have to embrace change and you have to love to learn. And if you
Yeah.
do that, you couldn't ask for a better career.
I love that. Okay. Embrace change and love to learn. Yeah. I've made a pivot into the tech space, the fintech space. So certainly the learning curve is there. So hobbies, what are you, I know that we've talked about that you bike, right? What other hobbies or
Bicycle. Some people get
bicycle?
disappointed when
Yeah.
they find out that it's a
You're not riding a
bicycle and
Harley
not
and
a Harley. Yeah, no, I love to cycle. It's good meditation, but
Mhm.
my real hobby is photography, and I love the fact that I'm able to travel the world and
Mhm.
you know, embed in cultures and take great memories and photographs from the people that I encounter uh, through that work.
Yeah, I think we were on our networking call. We were talking about the pollution allowing to see some of the greatest things in the world right now, the Himalayas and the flamingos, and I think the photography piece is something I was once interested in a long, long time ago. Never really got into it, but that's certainly cool to hear. So COVID is obviously taking its toll on most of us. I know some people, the introverts anyway, it's not really taking much toll on them as far as you know missing out on certain things. So what do you think you'll do first once the dust is settled and it's kind of the all go ahead?
You know what? I'm going to hug my sisters. I
Don't
have
make me cry.
asthma. I have
Yeah.
asthma. One of the reasons I moved home to Houston is because I wanted to be closer to my sisters. We're all very close in age, and they're my best friends. Um, COVID has allowed. I've seen them obviously, but we stay 6 feet apart from
Mhm.
one another, primarily because of my asthma. And so it's not really about where I'm going; it's about what I'm going to do. And I really just can't wait to hug my sisters and be closer to them than 6 feet apart.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's I've talked to a lot of people who have said they haven't seen, their family, and I'm homeward bound, and New Jersey's, pretty much locked up for another 4 weeks. So it's I don't get to see my other son often, and our in-laws and things like that. So certainly it hits home, right?
It certainly does. It certainly does.
Yeah, and then we've been talking about getting out to the conferences and seeing our people, right? I mean, you're my people, and we've got Laura and some of the folks that, we're just hoping to get back to normal soon, whatever that normal is, and, you know, keep positive. So,
Well, I really hope that we can get back together as an industry. You know, our industry is so unique in that we're competitors, you know, pretty
mhm,
much in what we do, but I don't know of another industry that is as that can be competitive, but we are far more collaborative than we are competitive. And the conference
mhm,
to me are where we go and we talk about ideas and solutions to how to make our industry as a whole better for all of us. Um, and I can't wait to get back to that. And I certainly hope that we do. You know, the annual MBA conference is coming up in
mhm.
October, and I just hope we're on the other side of this so that we can all spend some time together face to face.
I second that. I second that. All right, Kim. Well, thanks so much for coming today,
My
or
pleasure.
dialing in anyway. I really appreciate having you. And, I lean on you for a lot of insight and knowledge. And, like I said, you're one of my favorite humans. So thanks so much for coming.
Well, you're one of my favorites also, Ashley. And anytime you ask, I'm always there. Take care.
Awesome. You
Stay
too.
safe.
Bye bye.
Okay, doll. Bye bye.